Back again, 2018. Exciting times. Just got through with our Monday morning preparations and looking forward to the rest of the week. Practiced yesterday. Had a pretty good day yesterday, and now today we're doing our Monday off deal for our team. So then we'll be back in the morning at 6 o'clock, actually 6:20, for our first padded practice of the Georgia Southern preparation. Getting ready to go down to Statesboro this coming Saturday. It's been a long time coming. We've been practicing against ourselves now for about a month. And, it's exciting times to be getting ready to go down and play somebody other than ourselves. So, shoot.
Coach, how do you balance for yourself, the emotion of, you've talked about all offseason, this being your final year with now actually having games, and just having games help kind of alleviate some of that clutter and outside noise about this being your final season?
Well, Joe, I'm glad it's here, mostly because the build-up is what kind of kills you in the whole deal. You just get to anticipating all kinds of, what could happen here and all those kind of things until you just kind of worry yourself to death. So we're at the point now where we're actually here, and I'm glad the fact that we are, because of the fact that it was a long preseason for us.
Coach, with that, I guess, is it put maybe more onus on your staff to kind of get the players ready? Because you want to end on a high note. So I guess how you need to start kind of approaching this season, with that in the back of your head that, hey, at the end of the day, we got to win games.
I think it's always on our staff, I guess me first, to put the best product we possibly can out there, Joe. We got to make everything that we possibly can happen, in a way that we get a chance to win every week. Besides that, it's got nothing to do with me. It's a 2018 South Carolina State football season, and we want to go out and play the very best we can. Everything else is kind of inconsequential.
You felt more anxious, though, maybe just as a coach, knowing everything that took place, obviously, this offseason going into this year, to get back out there on the field?
Well, there's some anxiety for sure. You want to make everything happen a lot faster than it will. But at the same time, I guess you've been around this thing for as long as I have. It's going on 40 some odd years now. You kind of seen a game or two. You've seen a few things happen. So, I think I can control myself. I think I can keep my wits about me in a way where, I think we can kind of just relax and let it happen.
What will be the key for you guys going into Georgia Southern? You have a lot of new faces on the team, and just kind of handle that environment against a quote-unquote bigger opponent for you guys, and how do you think they'll handle it?
Well, we've got to stop the run. Georgia Southern's a traditional option team. They go through all kinds of different varieties and styles, but the bottom line is they still block you and make you defend all those responsibilities. We got to stop the run. And then at the same time, we need to figure out how to generate some offense ourselves. We got to be able to control the football some and keep the football away from that offense some, because sometimes when they get it, you don't get it back. That's got to be our mission of sorts. We got to be somewhat that way ourselves.
Do you think your offense can be that efficient against a team where you might not get the ball as much? You're talking about possession. They want to keep it and wear you down, and your team might have fewer opportunities to really do something on that side. Well,
that's the mission. That's what we got to be. We understand that. The tough part about it is that the majority of the returners that they have on their team seem to be on the defensive side. They've got, I think, somewhere in about the 9 to 10 range guys that are returning that, their leading tacklers. They lost their 2 top tacklers though, but then everybody else is back, and their defensive front personnel, is back in place. So we got our work cut out for us, no doubt, and I'm sure Coach Lunsford and that outfit, will understand that we will try to run the football. So they'll put every effort to try to make sure that we can't do that. So it'll be 2 immovable objects of sorts, going against each other. It'll be pretty important that we do something special there. If not, then it'll be a long day for us.
Coach, can you also comment on how the veterans are adjusting to the new voices from the coaching staff? A lot of USC guys, and do you kind of, I don't say a culture change, but you kind of sense of seeing how they respond to them, they're getting to know each other, how it's trickling down to the younger players as far as that team chemistry and everything?
Pretty good. It's a work in progress. Some of the older guys will always have some habits that, that they've got to break, that they got to change, some routines, that'll be a little bit different, with this coaching staff as opposed to the staff that we've had, in the past. But most of these guys, desirous of having, an opportunity to be a good football team, and they buy in a way where they're trying their best to please their coaches and make sure that they, have an opportunity to win. The one thing that you can always use to settle a guy down is you can put a little bench, right there by his spot and let him sit down a little bit. Those guys don't want that, so they work their fans off to make sure that they do everything they can to show that they are worthy of being in those positions.
Coach, obviously a long season, but how important is it to be able to get that first win and be able to set the tone, especially for some of the younger guys that you're trying to build that confidence up in them?
It'd be big, it'd be huge, but at the same time, there are possible ways that we can find wins, in a situation like this too. What we really need to do is play well. When you go into situations like this and you look good in the way that you move around and the way you actually handle yourself, the way that you actually move the football, the way you stop the ball, from moving all over the place, the way that you block and the way you tackle. If you do those things well, I think then you can draw some positives from those particular kinds of things too. But at the same time, a win here would be enormous for us.
Coach, how different is Georgia Southern now as an FBS team compared to when they were an FCS team just a couple of years ago? What have you noticed just in their growth and being in the general area?
They look like a D1 team, bigger bodies, more of them. You can tell that they've got depth everywhere. They've got a couple of offensive line guys, that surprised me a little bit. I thought they'd have some guys that were guys that we knew from this area that should be playing for them. And they're not on the depth chart, and I know they're still on the team, so that means, and I knew they were good players. So that means that either something happened to those guys or they've gotten better players, and I got a feeling they got better players to put in those positions. So you see a lot of first-rate style kinds of personnel running around, and then of course, the football programs in that league, the Sun Belt League, all really well coached, well balanced kind of teams. They kick the ball well, they do all the things. And then you see something about that stadium. You look around and you see a good looking stadium. I think they got an upper deck on the visitor side. Now, last time we were there, it wasn't there. Then I think they've got another facility back in the other end zone. So you see things around their program that let you know that they've done some neat things to upgrade their program that way.
Do you even allow your team or your staff to even talk about perhaps the depth chart difference, the talent disparity perhaps between the two programs? Or you keep them focused on, what's in front of you, little things we can do to win? Like, how much do you even address that with the team going into a matchup like this?
Yeah, we do. The day is our scouting report day, so we'll be giving scouting reports out even in our meetings this afternoon or in the morning, and we'll talk about that some. But it's a strange kind of deal in that a lot of those guys that are on our depth charts are not in their film. You don't see them in the film that you're actually watching now, so you don't get some of the sensation of how good some of these guys might be, not because you don't know they're pretty good players, it's just because you just don't have the vision on film of what you ordinarily would have. And that happens the first game of the year in general anyway. You got guys that were redshirted the previous year, all kinds of situations, come about that will kind of keep you from being able to see guys. So that's just part of the early part of the year that way. But there are a good bit of good-looking players running around out there somewhere that we kind of know will show up on Saturday.
Does it make it more difficult, though, in your first game, besides all the unknowns, you're going against an offense that you don't normally see throughout the year in the style they'll play?
Yeah, but I think most of the offenses got some of this tendency in them now. They've got some option in them. All of the read zone style of offenses are similar in certain approaches that way. So I don't know if they're much different now than what most of the teams are, than what used to be when the old option teams. They're not the old Georgia Southern ham-bone, wishbone kind of looking team that used to be. They don't go underneath the center a lot and do that kind of stuff. Most of that stuff, shotgun stuff. So it's closer now to what's general and ordinary than what, than what they used to be.
Coach, how are you feeling just about your team entering game week? As far as preparation, is the team maybe further along than maybe you even expected, or they kind of right where you thought they would with all the change and turnover?
I think we probably a little bit behind where I'd like for us to be. We are young as all get out in a few of our spots. Our secondary is young. We got another couple spots, where we got some youth. Our offensive line is still trying to find its way some. What I've tried to impress upon our guys, though, is that wherever we are, we want to be a little bit better tomorrow. And if we should happen to be a lot better tomorrow, then great, yeah. But at the very least, let's be a little bit better tomorrow than we were yesterday. So, that's kind of our mission. We've got some work to do to get all of our factions in play. The one good thing about those teams, though, that makes us viable is that we can do a little bit of everything. We can throw around a little bit, we can run a little bit, and we can kick the ball pretty good. We got some good young kickers. Our punters are all back, our long snap. So we got all of the different pieces in place that if we just continue to work at it and do all the things that we're supposed to do, then we'll have a chance to develop into a pretty good team, especially in the next coming weeks.
Buddy, getting off this week, just talking about one of your former players, Darius Leonard, seemed like the other day, who's projected to be the starter going into the season. I don't know if you're a big texter or anything like that. I don't know how if you've been in contact with him at all. If you have, what are those conversations been like? And just how excited are you just seeing the way he's been playing?
He's been texting back and forth with Coach Harrison and some of our other coaches almost every day, and I get it. He hits me occasionally, but now, it appears that he's really having a great camp, and we're awfully proud of it. The fact that it looks like he is going to start. There were stories early